We are in session 5 of Unit 5, and session 5 deals with questioning. So the objective for this session is that by the end of this session, you should be able to classify questions under Bloom's taxonomy and profile dimension. The kind of questions the teacher asks will reveal to the students the kind of thinking which is expected of them. Many teachers resort to memory type questions drawn directly from textbooks. Studies have shown that different types of questioning stimulate different kinds of thinking. And this one was said by Tabby Lavin and Elsie in 1964. Teachers should therefore be conscious of the purpose of their questioning and must consider the level of questions you are asking. So, questioning and questioning techniques are crucial to a good lesson plan as well as a good lesson delivery. Your questioning techniques are very important. So we are taking some of them into consideration. The questions included in your lesson plan should be upper level questions. And these are sometimes called the higher order questions. I said these higher order questions are defined as anything more complex than knowledge level. So very soon we take knowledge level, we take the Bloom's taxonomy and see what we mean by that. Now, the higher order questioning require careful thoughts in advance of the class. Listing upper level questioning in your lesson plan shows that you have given them appropriate consideration. Well, if you don't give them appropriate consideration, then they will not be part of your lesson plan. They are normally designed to make students become critical thinkers, and this helps them in thinking about what they are learning. They are to strengthen students' learning and communication skills. Classification or classifying questions. One of the best known classification is the Bloom's taxonomy of educational objective in 1956. Under the Bloom's taxonomy, questions are categorized into 6 levels, and they are the knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. For knowledge level of questioning, the purpose of knowledge questioning is to determine whether the students remember certain specific facts. Recall is observable when a student states a specific fact or gives information in much the same form as presented by the teacher. Recall answers can easily be judged as right or wrong, and that's the knowledge level. If they're able to say it rightly, then the knowledge is there, or they form knowledge about the concept being taught. Knowledge of specific facts. Examples are: which of the following numbers is or are not rational? So 0/3, 15/4, 5/0√5 is for knowledge level kind of question. What is 64 divided by 8? What are the factors of 6? State the binomial theory. These are knowledge of specific facts. Knowledge of terminology. You want to see the terminologies that they learn, whether they have gotten them correct or not. So, two sets having the same number of elements are said to be a kind of set. 15 factorial is equal to factorial is a term, terminology. Two sets that do not have any members in common are said to be a kind of set. So teacher tends to overuse these categories. Teachers tend to overuse these categories of questioning. So you are saying that this category of questioning have been overused Most teachers don't go to the application and staff level. They are around the knowledge level. So you need to do better than that. Because the knowledge level are more of memorization or memorizing what they have taught, which they rapidly forget. And the commands in the knowledge level are what's defined when, call, narrate. These are or then we come to comprehension. For comprehension, these are questions that are used when teachers want students to organize facts in such a way as to make some sense of them. They allow students to select facts that are pertinent in order to describe, compare, or contrast. Comprehension questions also allow students to translate ideas from one medium to another, to interpret information presented in graphs or tables. You have to note that information necessary to answer comprehensions should already have been provided. So commonly used words or commands in comprehension are describe, compare, put in your own words, explain, contrast, and I must say comprehension is a bit higher than knowledge. Comprehension questions are a bit higher than that's the next level after knowledge. The next level is the comprehension. Then after comprehension, so under the comprehension we have knowledge of concepts. In what ways does the set of whole numbers differ from the set of natural numbers? This we want to see their comprehension of the two statements there. Set of whole numbers, the natural numbers. How do they differ? Is comprehension. Then suppose A and B are two acute angles, P and Q degrees respectively. A and B are complementary if and only if it's also concept-based knowledge, and this one is also under comprehension. Distinguish between odd and even numbers. These are not just recall. You have to know the difference, so it's comprehension. Then we have knowledge of principles, rules, and generalization. Also, in that, you can also ask some of these questions. If three fractions have denominators that are relatively prime, the least common denominator is equal to. Again, if the decimal point in a number is moved 4 places to the whether right or left, what does it mean? These are comprehension kind of questions. When it comes to application, the third order is application. Application questions are asked to encourage students to apply information they have learned in order to find an answer to a problem. They require students to apply a rule or a process to a problem to determine the correct answer. Then under the application, we have ability to solve routine problems. Which of the following numbers expressed in base 8 numeration is both prime and odd? So this is then there's another typical application question. A piece of wire 36 meters long is bent into the form of a right angle triangle. If one of the legs is 12 meters long, find the length of the other leg. How do you apply your perimeter of triangle and your area of a triangle? So you apply your application. That's what we want to mean here. Find the area of a circle with radius 35 centimeters and pi at 3.14. Common used words are apply, classify, use, choose, employ, example, etc. Then ability to make comparison. is also under application. The difference in circumference between the larger and the smaller of two balls is 3 centimeters. Which of the following is the best estimate of the difference in their diameters? Then another example is the two different saving plans are available to you. At the bank, you are saving. At the bank, your savings will earn 5% compound interest quarterly. The Savings and Loan Association pays you 5.25% compound interest annually. Where will you place your money to earn the maximum interest? So you need to be able to apply, and that's application kind of question. Then ability to analyze data is also application. Then ability to recognize patterns and symmetries are also application. So if the data is given to you, 5 tests are given to Kofi's class. Each test has a value of 25 points. Kofi's average for the first 4 tests is 15. What is the lowest score he can get on the 5th test to have an average of at least 16? So all these are, so there's the data and how to analyze it is also an application question. Then we come to analysis. The 4th order is analysis. These questions are meant to help students to remember and organize information, and also to analyze the information for underlying reasoning such as causes and effects. Students are made to analyze information to reach conclusions or to find evidence. Commonly used words are why, what, factors, why, what factors, draw conclusions, determine evidence, support, substantiate. These are some of the commonly used in analysis. Example of analysis. Why does the sine curve not go beyond -1 and 1? Then prove that for every positive integer, n power 5 over 5 plus n power 3 over 3 plus 7n over 15 is an integer. So you need to analyze and come out. What conclusions can you draw about the graph of quadratics? These are all analysis questions. Then we come to the sentences. They are to help students to form relationships and put things together in a new or original ways. They help students to develop creative abilities. They test a thorough knowledge and understanding of a subject, and often require students to predict to solve problems. Synthesis differs from application in that sentence questions do not require answers to problems. They problems that have a single correct answer but allow a variety of creative answers. So synthesis is more of creativity, whilst applications are normally for looking for one correct answer. Then the last one is evaluation. That's the highest or the higher order thinking. The highest of all the others. That's application. They normally do the compare and the contrast, explain or summarize or analyze or synthesis or evaluate. The common used words are judge, assessment, decide, justify, etc. Normally in evaluation, these questions help students to choose among alternatives by judging what best fits a state's value. They do not have a single correct answer, but require students to judge the merit and the demerit of an idea, a solution to a problem, or an aesthetic way. Question can be divided to the cognitive thoughts required. Lower order questioning require the students to recall information. Higher order questioning require the student to apply information for some purpose. Then come to profile dimension. Profile dimension is a psychological unit for describing a particular learning behavior. More than one dimension constitutes a profile of dimensions. A specific objective may be stated when an action verb as follows, with an action verb as follows. The students will be able to describe, you are writing your objective, and your objective should be with some action verbs. Being able to describe something after the instruction has been completed means that the student has acquired knowledge. Then being able to explain, summarize, give example, etc. means that the student has understood the lesson taught. That's a comprehension. Similarly, being able to develop, plan, solve problems, construct means that the student can apply the knowledge acquired in some new context. The two profile dimensions that have been specified for teaching, learning, and testing at the SHS level are the knowledge and the understanding with or knowledge and understanding with 30%, application of knowledge, including application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, also with 70%. So with all your teaching, the knowledge and understanding takes 30%, then application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation takes 70% of your questioning. This ends the session, and this session we learn about the Bloom's taxonomy.